Hello and welcome to the morning show teeing off with RevSportz. Very good morning to all of you present, and you must be thinking, why am I wearing the Indian team jersey? Well, I could not hold my temptation to wear the jersey because this is the SAF Championship 2023 final grand finale, India versus Kuwait, and this show is totally dedicated to Indian football today, and lots to discuss in Indian football. Structural changes in the league, new teams coming up, new divisions being introduced. Fantastic few months for Indian team in the last few months. Intercontinental Cup final, champion, SAF final. We are waiting to get the. We are waiting to defend the title, I would say, because earlier this was the 13th edition of the SAF, and out of those 13, 8 times India were the champions, and this was the ninth time India are in the final. So Rahul, before we go into the details of the today's match, how has been the last few months for Indian football?
Oh, it has been totally, a different complexion in Indian football. We have seen 2 or 3 years ago, in every match we used to watch in the TV, we used to get frustrated after the 90 minutes. And when we will compete in the World Cup, when we will compete in the Asian Cup qualifier, but the last 2 or 3 months, it has really has increased our expectation of all the fans. Fans are now going in numbers. They're in the stands to support the Indian football. It has totally changed. Yeah, I would suggest that they should stick to Igor Stimac plans for another 3 to 4 years. They should not let Igor Stimac go after this, or else it will be again, because when you have to bring another new coach, and again you will have to start from the beginning, and that will again disrupt your improvement. So I'm really happy with the improvement that the Indian team has shown.
Exactly, and Igor Stimac's contract was till September, but it has been extended till the Asian Cup. We really hope that it gets further extended because the team and the management are seem to be in sync. Everyone knows each other. Everyone has that coordination on and off the field. Uh, Even when Igor Stimac was sitting on the stands after being ruled out, just look at
Yeah.
the celebrations with Kalyan Jobe and Saji Pravakar and Igor Stimac. They're all like any other supporter, not the administrators or the big bosses of the federation.
Yeah.
That was fantastic to see in the semi-final after the tiebreaker. And yes, I was mentioning about the jerseys. One more thing, I was planning to buy. You and I all were planning to buy the original jersey from the official website, but it was out of stock. How often do you see a Indian football team's jersey being getting out of stock, the original quality? Because few years back also we never used to get good quality Indian team jerseys. Now it's getting out of stock. So that shows how much of an impact the current team has given. I remember back in 2015, Sunil Chetri coming on social media and saying, "Please come to visit the games. If you don't like, abuse us. If you like, you cheer for us." But now see, full crowds. Kranti Rava always 20-25,000 packed. Indian team jersey getting sold out. So overall, a gala situation for Indian football. Fine. Your thoughts on this one, Rahul?
Yeah, absolutely. As you pointed out, that jerseys are now getting sold out, and yeah, from that point on, that when Sunil Chetri was urging fans, to come to the stadium to support them, and to this stage, it has been totally a different stage. I'm really happy with that. Yeah, Sunil Chetri, all the team members are happy with this thing. Even Coach Igor Stimac, and you were telling about Igor Stimac. I want to add one thing: the way the coach mixed with this team, that's totally
Hmm.
different. Every time he used to be there for any players, for any difficult situation they face, the Igor Stimac used to be there to help them. That's what we need from a coach.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when we get into this game, let's get into this game. Uh, Another thing that this SAF has been the most different from the other 13 editions because we have two teams from outside the SAF zone,
Yeah,
Lebanon and Kuwait,
invitation take.
both, both good sides. And Shaji Prabhakaran on the AIF Secretary General on our show with Boryada said that they will be bringing more such teams in the future editions, which will obviously increase the standard of the tournament. fantastic move by AIFF, and India has proved well against these good quality sides. Your thoughts before the final? Because yes, Kuwait and India will not be that easy like other teams. So Kuwait will be a difficult task. But what are your thoughts? Final first thoughts on the game?
Yeah, as the first of all, these two invitation team has really helped India in their preparation for the Asian Cup qualifier because
Hmm.
in the South Asian region, most of the neighboring teams they are far behind in the ranking than India. So as everyone is to say when India will play the World Cup, but for me it's first India needs to beat the top giants in Asia, and after that they will I conquering the world, So in that process, it's a really good step, to invite teams like this to this kind of tournament. So that AIF has done well. And coming to the game, it will be tough for India. Yeah, if India do what they have done in the group stage fixture against Kuwait, then it won't be difficult for them to lift the trophy. But this time again, as I mentioned yesterday, that Kuwait has played one game against India. Now there will be no their strategy, their tactics are much better than the previous game. So this time Kuwait will come strongly than they were in the group stage fixture. So it will be a tough job for India.
Absolutely, but the home ground will be cheering for India. They will act
Yeah,
as the
they will
12th
be the
man.
12th man. Yeah,
Absolutely, and another thing that we are not only talking about Sunil Chhetri this time, as it was the case earlier in the earlier editions. We always used to talk only about Sunil Chhetri, and Sunil Chhetri. But this time around, we have mentioned some other players also. Even Sunil Chhetri himself has praised a lot of youngsters. And if you remember the Intercontinental Cup final, Sunil Chhetri scored, but Lalang Changte won the man of the match. So that shows that how the Indian youngsters have performed. Your thoughts on this one, Rahul? You have watched every possible game. I have not, even I have not watched every game, but you have watched every game. So your thoughts on that one?
yeah, it's a relief for all the fans as they used to do 1 or 2 years ago. That every time they used to depend on Sunil Chhetri for goals. The thing hasn't changed much from now also because so far Sunil Chhetri has scored 5 goals in this tournament. So it shows that the team will rely on Sunil Chhetri, to get in the final as well. But yeah, few youngsters that have come from ISL, Yosh team has scouted them. That's really a good scouting. You'll have to say like Changte. Changte has before played for India in 2019, but after that
Hmm.
he hasn't featured. But again, he has made a great comeback. And talking about Naurem Mahesh, he hasn't been so he hasn't been so impressive even in ISL also that I am seeing him
Hmm.
playing in the Indian jersey. And along with that, Anwar Ali, at this age, the way he is leading the defense, it has been really impressive. And with Anirudh Thapa, yeah, he has been so dependable since last 2 or 3 years. He is exceptional. And I would say the Rohit Kumar also, coach hasn't given him full game so far. He used to
Hmm.
come as a substitute in the second half, but he is a very skillful midfielder. He has a great sense of the midfield, and his distribution is also great. So these are the few great young players that our team will be depend on in the final.
Absolutely, and as you mentioned about Anwar Ali, you have to give credits to Ranjit Bajaj for that because few years back he was ruled out for a heart problem, medical problem from the AFF did not allow him to take participate in the competitions, and he with his own expense, Ranjit Bajaj took him to the Minerva Punjab camp and gave all his treatments, funded all his treatments, and he's now back and leading the defense side by side with Sandesh Jhingan, though he was not there in the semi-final. So a brilliant prospect. And of course, you have to mention Gurpreet Singh Sandhu. He has been fantastic. But yes, as we were discussing yesterday, also Gurpreet has been good. Amrinder has been good, and coach has shuffled them. Coach has shuffled all of the whole team and taken up options for the different games, and everyone has performed. Nobody has failed to step up to the occasion, and that's what shows the core strength, the bench strength of the team that will help team going forward. Because after this tournament, there is a long gap. Then the Merdeka Cup then the Kings Cup, and then ultimately the Asian Cup, the big competition that we are all looking forward to. But yes, Rahul, before we go into some other football discussions, give your predictions for today's final.
Today's final, I will go with a tiebreaker. It will be a thrilling 90 minutes or 120 minutes, you can say, but I think it will go into tiebreaker.
Yeah, I probably will because both the teams are evenly balanced. I don't see much of goal difference. Even if it is not tiebreaker, 1-0 will be the final score. I think. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
But
it could be.
yes, and yesterday late night we got some really great news on the Indian football. New teams, five new bids have been given to the AIFF for corporate entry in I League, and all five bids have been accepted by the AIFF. So that adds to 16 teams in the upcoming season of I League. But a different thing from the previous editions that it will be based in two groups of 8 teams each, much like the conference league that happens in MLS back in the US. So new format, but new teams, 16 teams. We have been talking about this, increase the number of teams and increase the competition. So your thoughts on this positive change from AIFF?
Yeah, much needed step, I would say, from AIFF, because if I compare with the BCCI, everyone know about the Indian cricket is an example in the world cricket, and just see the player pool in Indian cricket, it's such large, and that's why uh, whether Virat Kohli retires or Rohit Sharma retires, it doesn't bother anyone because they know another youngster will come and will be the next Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma. So the same thing, yeah. The EFA, whatever they have applied, they have brought the five new clubs. I think they will do the same thing. It will expand the player pool. There are numerous talents in India, but they are without clubs. They are searching for clubs, for club
Mhm.
trials. So these clubs, what they will do, they will give a great opportunity to another 10 or 11 youngster, to showcase their talents, and that's how Indian football can grow.
Exactly, and many more number of teams means more. Absolutely right. Employment opportunities for the players and the other officials also. Another important, very important thing will be that longer duration of the league. That is very important.
Yeah,
You have to keep playing for a longer duration.
playing time.
Yeah. So we have a viewer. Good morning, Saurav. But yes, but another thing. So let's take up the five teams, five new entities that will be playing in the I League. The owning companies: YMS Finance Private Limited from Varanasi, UP; Namdhari Seeds Private Limited from Punjab; Nimita Nimita Sports Development Private Limited from Bangalore. They are the FC Bangalore United. So they FCBU comes into I League. They have been trying for the last 2 3 years to qualify, but they are finally in the I League with corporate entry. And Conca Tenet Advisory Private Limited from Delhi, and Bunker Hill Private Limited from Haryana. But I was confused with Bunker Hill because they also own Mohammedan FC. So
Mohammedan,
Mohammedan.
yeah.
So I
Maybe they
don't
will
know
part
how.
ways with Mohammedan, I think, because we are hearing that the relation is not so good between the investor and the club today.
Exactly. And
And what
one
about
owner.
Interkashi?
Huh?
What about Interkashi? Will they play in I League or
Yeah, Interkashi is owned by YMS
Acha.
Finance. So these are the owning
And they
entities.
have backing
And
of Atletico Madrid, so that's a great sign.
exactly. And yes, Bunker Hill, I was confused. I don't know what's the inside story till now because same owner can't have two teams in the same league, so they'll
No,
have to
no.
watch. Yeah. So, and another thing, the three divisions will be introduced from the upcoming season. We have a third division league coming up. Promotion from I League to ISL is on, and the final one, Federation Cup, is coming back. So these tournaments are important for to keep the season long. You have to give more playing time and more matches to the players. So final thoughts on all these positive changes: five new teams, three divisions, and Federation Cup coming back.
First of all, Federation Cup coming back, it makes me remember about that derby in the cutoff, East Bengal Mohan. So those are the times, we have really enjoyed those. So finally, those days were back again. We'll be seeing another 4 to 5 derbies in a season. So it's a great moment for all of us. And yeah, secondly, the most important thing, the Indian players, the players which are playing in the national team, all the players who are yet to feature in the national team will get another 1 or 2 months game time. That's the really important thing. Uh, and Indian team has proved really well with this result in the Intercontinental Cup that if they given game time, they can yield results. So it's going forward. This type of steps are needed, and yes, they were doing this. It's a good thing, I would say.
Absolutely. And these are all part of the Vision 2047 part. So
Yeah,
we hope lots of good things come up in football down the line. So thank you, Rahul, and thank you
thank
all the
you.
viewers. We'll be back again tomorrow, and we hope India lifts the Cup tonight.